Cześć, witamy na kolejnej lekcji języka angielskiego, najprawdziwszej na świecie. Mamy tutaj pilnego ucznia, chociaż z tym pilnym to tak różnie bywa, bo to trzeba już na tym poziomie, naszym 6, już dokładnie wiedzieć, jakie jest tłumaczenie i co autor chciałby z nami podczas tej lekcji poćwiczyć, takiej, jeżeli chodzi o naukę z tej książki. Są pewne założenia, że to i to chcemy poćwiczyć, taki jest kontekst i takie kolejne znaczenie takich czasami popularnych słów. Coraz więcej słów mało popularnych się pojawia. No i mamy najlepszą nauczycielkę, także możemy zaczynać. Okay, hello.
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 We start with Unit 21 and Unit 22 revision. Okay. Stain.
Stain, plama. Stain, plamić.
Very good. Dry cleaners.
Dry cleaners. Polish one. Pralnia.
Very good. Very good. What do they do at the dry cleaners? What do they do at the dry cleaners?
At the dry cleaners, they clean our clothes.
And remove?
And remove stains. Oh yes, stains.
Excellent. Very good. How much does it cost to clean a suit at the dry cleaners? How much does it cost to clean a suit at the dry cleaners?
It costs about 100 zlotys to clean a suit at dry cleaners.
Very good. Excellent. What can stain your teeth? What can stain your teeth?
Coffee, tea and cigarettes can stain my teeth.
Very good. What could stains a person's reputation? What could stain a person's reputation?
Affairs can stain a person's reputation.
Excellent. Pillow.
Pillow, tabletka.
Bed linen.
Bed linen, pościel.
Sheet.
Sheet, kartka and prześcieradło. Jest.
Excellent. Very
Kartka,
good.
prześcieradło. How they can put together kartka and prześcieradło as a one word.
Okay. Excellent. How often do you change the bed linen? How often do you change the bed linen?
I change bed linen once a week.
Excellent. Do you wash the sheets yourself or do you take them to the dry cleaners? Do you wash the sheets yourself or do you take them to the dry cleaners?
I take it to the dry cleaners. Because it's third revision, you can only ask me once. Because now it's I have had this question so many times, so it's okay.
Okay, very good.
Normally I need time just for the first time to follow the book, to use the sentences, not to answer my way.
Okay. Do you prefer thick pillows to thin ones? Do you prefer thick pillows to thin ones?
I prefer thick pillows because I like lying on my back
Okay,
when I sleep,
excellent.
while sleeping.
What can pillows be filled with? What can pillows be filled with?
Pillows. Now I know these questions now for the first time. I know. But it's habit. Pillows can be filled with feather, ducks and goose feathers.
Excellent, very good. Is it pleasant to slide in between cold sheets?
No, it isn't pleasant to slide between two cold sheets.
What do we use for writing dictations?
We use for writing dictation sheets of paper.
Very good. Complicate.
Complicate, komplikować.
Complicated.
Complicated, skomplikowany.
Complication.
Complication, komplikacja.
Clarify.
Clarified, wyjaśniać.
Is English grammar complicated?
Yes, English grammar is complicated, 16 tenses.
No. Do manuals sometimes complicate matters rather than clarify them?
Yes, manuals sometimes complicate matters rather than clarify them.
Excellent, very good. What happens when there are complications in an illness?
If there are complications in an illness, we need to clarify them.
No. It means the illness got
worse.
Excellent, very good. Can a simple accident sometimes highly complicate life?
Yes, a simple simple accident can sometimes highly complicate life.
Excellent, very good. Sneeze.
Sneeze, wąchać.
Very good. Sniff.
Sniff, zapach, wąchać.
Very good.
Yes?
Very
Okay.
good. The two, but it's fine. What's a sneeze?
Sneeze, sneeze, kichać, okay.
No, it's
Yes? Okay. Sneeze is a sudden burst of air out of our through the nose and mouth. Yes?
Which can be controlled or uncontrolled?
Which is usually uncontrolled.
Excellent, very good. Who sneezes the loudest in your family?
I sneeze the loudest in my family.
Very good. What are the signs that somebody may have a cold?
Other signs that somebody may have a cold are a runny nose and temperature and sneezing.
And?
Sniffing? Sniffing, yes?
Yes.
Sniffing,
Excellent.
okay.
Bob, why do we sometimes sniff milk when we take it from the fridge?
We sometimes sniff milk while taking out of the fridge.
When we take it
from the fridge to check if it's to check it hasn't turned sour.
Excellent.
Yes?
Very good.
I would never say
Very
this
good.
way.
Why do they have dogs at customs?
They have dogs at customs for sniffing drugs.
Sniffing out.
Sniffing out drugs by dogs.
In what?
In luggages, baggages.
Excellent. Very good. Very good. Remedy.
Remedy, lekarstwo.
Compress.
Compress.
Iodine.
Iodyn i jodyna.
Heal.
Heal, leczyć.
Onion.
Onion, cebula.
Very good. Is a cold compress a good remedy for a mosquito bite?
Yes, a cold compress is a good remedy for mosquito bite.
Excellent. Have you got any home remedies for a cold?
Yes, I have some home remedies for cold.
What are they?
Yes, they are, for example, bread with garlic, onion with tomatoes, and cold lemon, maybe, and hot milk with honey.
Hot milk with honey. Excellent. What should we clean scratch skin with?
We should clean scratch skin with iodine.
Iodine, very good. Does iodine help to heal scratches?
Yes, iodine helps to heal scratches.
How long would it take for a broken wrist or a broken leg or a broken spine to heal?
It takes 6 weeks to heal. It would take 6 weeks to heal a broken leg.
A broken leg, okay. Excellent. Are there any simple remedies for unemployment? No, there aren't simple remedies for unemployment. Okay, excellent. Do you like onion soup?
Maybe I like onion soup.
You've never had it?
I'm not sure.
Okay, why do we add onions to different dishes?
We add onion to different dishes to get better flavor.
Excellent,
yes.
To get better flavor. Very good. Icon.
Icon, ikona.
Click.
Click, klikać.
Drag.
Drag, przesuwać, przyciągać.
What exactly do you do with an icon on a computer screen if you want to move it?
I drag an icon from one place to another, and
so you first to do what?
I click on it.
Excellent.
And drag it.
Yes. Across?
Across the screen.
Very good.
Yeah. With a mouse, Mickey Mouse, no, computer mouse.
Okay, with a mouse. Do you find it easy to drag yourself out of bed in the morning?
Yeah, no, I don't find it easy to get myself, to drag myself out of the bed in the morning.
Excellent, very good. What could happen if you dragged a heavy piece of furniture along the floor?
If I drag a heavy piece of furniture along
Excellent.
a floor,
Mm-hmm.
I may scratch the floor and
Or
a back.
or hurt your back.
Hurt my back. Okay.
Because it's heavy.
Okay. Yeah.
When is it difficult to drag some men away from watching TV?
It's difficult to drag a man away from watching TV because when he's watching football, baseball,
Sports, basically.
hockey. Yes.
Basically, when they're
Yes.
watching sports.
Yes.
What do we mean when we say the time drags?
We say the time drags when we are bored.
When you're bored, or time seems.
Time seems so long.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it
this
seems
way.
so long, or to go very slowly.
Slowly. Time
Very
goes
good.
slowly. Yes. Time
Excellent.
goes slowly.
Why does a bird sometimes drags its wing on the ground?
A bird sometimes drag their wings on the ground because they have a broken wing.
Excellent. Cotton.
Curtain.
Curtain.
Curtain, zasłona.
Blind.
Blind, ślepy. A blind, żaluzja.
Excellent. Very good. Drew, drawn.
Drawn, ciągnąć.
What does draw the blinds mean?
To draw blinds means to lower or raise them. Okay,
Excellent.
lower and raise them. Okay.
Very good. What do we do with curtains?
We draw them
In the evening, we draw.
we draw them in the evening and draw them back in the morning.
Excellent.
Okay.
Very good. If at a party someone drew you aside, what could it mean?
If somebody drew me apart at a party, it means that he or she wants to talk to me in person.
In person or in private? Excellent.
In private.
Which film has recently drawn large audience to the cinema?
Probably.
In fact.
One moment.
Polish film.
It was Boże Ciało. Corpus Christi has drawn a lot of people to the large audience to the cinema.
Excellent. What would you do if someone in the street drew a gun out of the pocket?
If somebody in the street drew out a gun out of the pocket, it would mean I am in United States. Only.
Oh my God.
Or in Latin America.
Come on, it also happens somewhere else. Duh. No, what would you do then? What would you do?
I would freeze. Police say like freeze, like I would freeze, like
you wouldn't run.
No, I would freeze and like what the heck. Yes.
Okay, you'd be surprised.
Yes.
Okay, can a scream for help still draw people's attention in large cities?
Once again.
Can a scream for help still draw people's attention in large cities?
Yes, I think scream for help would still draw attention in large cities.
Very good. What would you draw into your lungs if someone smoked in your presence?
I would draw marijuana if somebody smoked in my presence.
But if they're smoking
into
something
my
else,
lungs.
smoke, you would draw?
I would draw
smoke.
Into my lungs if somebody smoked in my presence.
Okay,
Probably marijuana because now tobacco is not popular.
It's ancient now.
Okay. It's ancient.
So B.
Okay, and some questions.
So new questions. Ask me a question with curtain.
Curtain. What color are the curtains in your house? home.
I actually don't have curtains, I have blinds and they're white.
Only blinds, okay.
And they're white.
Uh-huh.
Ask me a question with compress.
Compress. What kind of compress do you have when you have the flu? Compress.
Okay. Which do I have? Okay.
Yeah.
When I have a flu, I put a cold compress on my forehead.
Okay.
Yeah. Only if not really when if I have a fever or a headache.
Okay.
Stain.
Stain. Okay. What do you do? What do you do when you see a stain on your blouse at school? During the lesson.
Okay, it has never happened to me, but if it happened that I see a stain on my blouse at school, I would hide it, or if I can go home and change and come back. If I can't, probably wear a scarf the whole day or something to hide it.
Okay, you would read all the lesson. You would be read all the lesson.
I know. Yeah, but still, you put on
No.
the scarf. You be like, you're cold, I'm
way.
cold. Exactly.
Yeah.
You just have to lie. You're like, I'm very cold.
Not this way.
Or you put on a jacket.
Jacket.
And they'll be like, why are you well? I'm cold.
Yeah.
As simple as that. Last one. Can you ask with hail?
Hill. What's a popular hill in Africa for a cold?
A popular healing? You can
A
say
hill. A hill? No, healing. How do you heal? How do you, well, at home, yes, at home. How do you heal?
What's a proper what?
Remedy. Yeah, good. Okay, this way. What's a proper remedy for a cold?
To heal a cold.
To heal a cold?
So
at your home.
So a proper remedy to heal a cold at home, I would propose, let's see, hot water with lemon and honey.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
and probably ginger too.
Ginger,
ginger tea.
Ginger tea. Because hot water usually kills this bacteria in your throat. Yes,
yeah, with lemon and honey, so it's nice.
Not
the honey
tea.
soothes your throat. Yeah, because I didn't want to say tea because it's only the hot water you need, and you put a fresh squeezed lemon juice and then honey.
Okay.
And that's all. It's very much better if you have a ginger tea. It's much better, but if you can't, you can do that. Some people also propose garlic, but I've never used it, so I don't know if it works.
Okay. All right.
So we can continue. So B.
Ebi. Pszczoła.
Swelled, swollen.
Swollen, przełykać.
Swelling.
Swelling, opuchnięty. Opuchlizna. Okay.
Very good. Sting, stung.
Sting, stank, żądlić, kuć.
Okay, and sting?
Sting, żądło.
Very good. Why do we say that bees sting and mosquitoes bite?
Once again?
Why do we say that bees sting and mosquitoes bite?
Okay. We say that bees sting and mosquito bites because they bite and they...
Because bees have...
Because bees have a sting.
Excellent.
And mosquitoes don't.
Excellent. Very good. What are the things we like and dislike about bees? What are the things we like and dislikes about bees?
We dislike about bees that they sting and like that they produce honey.
Excellent. Very good. When can it be extremely dangerous to be stung by a bee? When can it be extremely dangerous
Yes,
to be stung by a bee?
it could be extremely dangerous to be stung by a bee
If
if
you
you
are
are allergic to
Excellent. Bee stings.
sticks.
To bee stings.
Stings.
Excellent. Or if it stings,
If a bee sting you into your tongue.
stings your tongue.
Sting your tongue.
Very good. So why? Why can it be extremely dangerous if your bee stings you when you're allergic to their stings and when they sting you on the tongue?
It
Why?
could be very dangerous because your tongue may swallow and you can't breathe.
Or it causes a lot of pain.
Pain, okay. And
As simple as that.
plus
Yeah,
pain.
Imagine if you can. If you wanted to reduce the swelling, would it be a good idea to use ice or a cold compress?
It would be a good idea to use a cold compress.
Or
Or
ice too.
Ice, yes.
Yeah,
Cold
so yes.
compress with ice.
Yeah. Must you remove the sting before putting on a compress? Must you remove the sting before putting on a compress?
Yes, you must remove a sting before putting a cold compress.
Excellent.
Yes, okay.
If you lowered the cost of production, could your profits swell?
Yes, if I cut
If I
if I lower the cost of production,
the profits
the profits will swell.
swell.
Okay,
very
swell.
Profits will swell.
Swell.
What can cause the swelling of an eye? What can cause the swelling of an eye?
A swelling of an eye may
Caused by
caused by a sting.
or
Yes, punch.
excellent.
Okay.
Very good. So sting, stung again.
Sting, stung.
Again.
Okay, sting. It was żądlić and this time szczypać. Szczypać okej, żądlić, a tu szczypać, dokopać komuś, dociąć komuś i pobudzić. Okej,
Excellent.
pobudzić, okej.
Infamous.
Infamous, niepopularny.
What vegetable is infamous for making most people's eyes sting when they peel it?
Onion is the most popular vegetable. Is one of the most.
Is the
The most infamous vegetable for
Making
most people eyes swelling.
No.
Crying.
Sting.
Sting.
When?
Sting. Okay. Sting. Okay.
When
they peel it. Okay.
Excellent, very good.
So okay, once again, then.
What vegetable is infamous for making most people's eyes sting when they peel it?
Onion is the most infamous vegetable for.
Is the infamous
is infamous vegetable for making people's eyes sting when they peel it. Okay.
Do you easily bear the stinging feeling of iodine on a scratch?
Yes, I easily
bear.
No, I don't easily bear the
Stinging
feeling of iodine on my scratch.
On a scratch. Very good. Have you ever been stung by someone's criticism or remarks? Have you ever been
I need now twice because it's not that I think it's revision number 2.
Yeah.
Then I need more time.
Have you ever been stung by someone's criticism or remarks?
Yes, I've ever been stung.
Yes, I've been.
I've been stung by somebody's criticism
And remarks.
and remarks. Okay.
Very good. What did that person say? What did that person say?
And that person said that I'm stupid.
Can harsh words sometimes sting us into action? Can harsh words sometimes sting us into action?
Yes, harsh words can sometimes sting us to an action.
Into action.
Obudzić, okay.
Very good. Do you know any Italian food producers who are famous for very poor quality of their products? Do you know any Italian food producers who are famous for very poor quality of products?
No, I don't know any Italian producers.
Food producers.
Food producers for who are infamous for the very poor quality of the products.
Excellent, very good. Chest.
Chest, klatka piersiowa, kufer, skrzynia.
Kufer, very good. Cupboard.
Cupboard, credence. Okay.
Excellent. Stethoscope.
Stethoscope, stethoscope. And no, słuchawki lekarskie, czyli stetoskop.
Okay, excellent. How does a doctor check the lungs? How does a doctor check
the lungs? The doctor checks the lungs by using a stethoscope.
So he puts it?
He put it on a chest.
And
listening to the breathing, how you breathe.
Excellent, very good. What can chest pains be a sign of? What can chest pains be a sign of?
A chest pain can be sign of heart attack.
Excellent.
Heart attack, okay.
Very good. What kind of things did they keep in a chest in the past?
They kept treasures in a chest in the past.
Very good. What do we store in a cupboard?
We store cups in a cupboard.
Very good. Sweep, swept, swept.
Sweep, zamiatać. Sweep, swept, swept.
Very good. Sweep something under the carpet. Try to keep something a secret, basically, especially something we've done wrong or something embarrassing. So sweep something under the carpet.
Sweep something under the carpet. Zamiatać coś pod dywan.
Okay, very good. How do they usually sweep dead leaves in autumn? How do they usually sweep dead leaves in autumn?
Okay, they usually sweep dead leaves in autumn in heaps.
Into the heaps. Heaps of what?
Heaps of leaves. Yes, big heaps.
Two heaps.
Yes, heaps of leaves.
Who's responsible for sweeping the snow off the pavement in front of a building? Who's responsible for sweeping the snow off the pavement on a building?
Housekeeper is responsible. House owner is
house owner
is responsible for sweeping snow off the pavement in front of the building.
Excellent, very good. What things do people sometimes sweep under the carpet? What things do people sometimes sweep under the carpet?
Bad things. They usually
embarrassing
things. They usually sweep under the carpet.
Yeah, embarrassing thing, disappointing. Exactly, very good. Which part of the world is very often swept by heavy rains and thunderstorms? Which part of the world is very often swept by heavy rains or thunderstorms?
South Asia,
Excellent.
is usually swept off by thunderstorms and heavy rains.
Very good. Have you ever been swept up by the crowd during the sales? Have you ever been swept up by the crowd during the sales?
No, I've never been swept out of the crowd. Swept up by a crowd during the sales.
Yeah. You probably don't go shopping during the sales.
Not now. I think it's not possible. There will be crowd of people sweeping me up. Sweeping me out. Up. Yes, sweeping me up.
So weave, wove, woven.
Weave, wove, woven, catch.
Excellent.
Catch, yes.
Web.
Web, pajęczyna.
Sieć.
Sieć.
Very good. Weep, wept, wept.
Weep, wept. Weep, wept, wept, to catch.
Excellent.
Catch.
Weeping willow.
Weeping willow, płacząca wierzba.
Wicker.
Wicca, wiklina.
Excellent.
Oh.
Weep is a very formal form of cry.
Okay, weep, cry.
It's a very formal form of cry. It's the same as crying, but in a good way. What are some baskets woven? What are some baskets woven from?
Baskets are woven from a wicker.
From a wicker. Very good.
Yes. Okay.
From strips.
From stripes of wicker.
Stripes.
From stripes of weeping willow.
No,
No?
the wicker.
No,
No,
wicker.
yeah.
From wicker. Okay.
Strips of wicker.
Strips
What
of
does a weeping willow look like, and where does it usually grow? What does a weeping willow look like, and where does it usually grow?
A weeping willow looks like a tree with long, thin branches hanging down to the
downwards, hanging
downwards. Yes.
And it usually grows.
It grows near waters.
Yes, usually
Yeah.
grow near water. Excellent. Why do spiders weave web?
Spiders weave web
To
to
catch.
catch insects
For
for food.
very
Yes.
good. Excellent. Are there any film directors that you particularly like for weaving complicated plots? Are there any particular film directors that you like for weaving complicated plots?
No, I don't know any film directors who
That I particularly like.
they particularly like
For weaving.
weaving complicated plots.
Do you know any film? Do you remember any film you like? It's complicated plot.
Complicated plot. I know complicated plot.
Okay, interesting.
Interesting plot. No.
No, like one of your favorite movies, for example. No. Okay. Do you find that in some films the plot seems to weave forever? Do you find that in some films the plot seems to weave forever?
Yes, now there are a lot of films that the plot seems to weave forever.
Excellent. Did people weep with joy when World War II was over? Did people weep with joy when World War II was over?
Yes, people wept with joy when the World War wept. People wept with joy when the World War II was over.
Excellent. So knitted.
Knitted. Łączyć.
There's so many. What do you usually knit from wool?
Łączyć and knit. Robić na drutach, wiązać, zrastać się. Okay.
What do you usually knit from wool? What do you usually knit from wool?
From wool? From wool. Okay. We knit from wool sweaters.
Sweaters.
Jumpers.
Yeah, sweaters most of the time. Excellent. Have you ever had a hand knitted sweater? Have you ever had a hand knitted sweater?
I think I've ever had a hand knitted.
I've had. Yes, I've had.
Yes, I've had a hand knitted sweater.
Excellent.
Yes.
Very good. Is knitting still as popular as it was 100 years ago? Is knitting still as popular as it was 100 years ago?
No, knitting isn't as popular as it was 100 years ago.
Anymore. Very good. What happens if broken bones don't knit properly? What happens if broken bones don't knit properly?
If broken bones don't knit properly, we need to break them again. I don't know
And
how,
put-
and put back together.
Yeah, I think they use A thing, like
Hammer.
they use a stool that looks like a hammer, exactly. Because I've seen it with doctors, surgeons have it. But I don't know how
But
they-
yeah, they
Probably they give you like
they give you, but they can't broke it again the same way, or I don't know. It will
it
be
could cause complications.
yeah. Some
I
more
understand.
complication, but
Yeah. Or you can even break it more.
you break it more, or
But I don't know how they do
make
it.
more damage.
I know.
I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
there is some
Yeah, but
good
the-
experience with it, but
yeah, but the issue is they have to put it up again and then do it again together, so it's
Yeah.
complicated. Are there any ideas or beliefs that knit together all the natives of your country? Are there any beliefs or ideas that knit together all the natives of your country, no matter where they live?
yes, there are some beliefs and something else.
Ideas.
That need all people of my country,
Natives of my country.
native of my countries, together, together,
Wherever they are.
whatever they are.
So give me an example.
Like when you say k in Polish, it's need all the people around. Even if you're abroad, then you know for sure it's Polish.
Okay, great. What does it mean? It means something bad?
Something bad. It's
Okay.
one popular word, like
Very good.
100% is sure that it's this person's Polish.
Okay. So, bow.
Bow kokarda.
Excellent. Bow tie.
Bow tie muszka.
Knot.
Not węzeł. Węzeł, not
Very good. Or cock.
cock. Ah, okay.
No, that.
Like kind of
And tie the knot.
tie a knot.
Tie the knot.
knot.
No, tie the knot.
Tie the knot. Żenić.
Tie the knot. Getting married,
Getting
basically. How does a bow tie differ from a tie?
A bow tie differ from a tie. The way that bow tie is
Knotted
knotted
in a bow
in a bow.
and doesn't.
Doesn't hang.
Yeah, it doesn't
Okay.
have that. Excellent. Are bow ties more common than ties? Are bow ties more common than ties?
No, bow ties aren't more common than ties.
Yeah, definitely. How many knots do you tie when you knot a tie? How many knots do you tie when you knot a tie?
I notes two. I tie two notes when I tie a tie.
Two or one?
Like once and then twice and okay, or maybe in general
Yeah,
one.
but yeah, usually people say one, but like two more. How can women tie their hair? How can women tie their hair?
Women tie their hair by knotting
No, in knot. Knots, or
in knots
Or-
or in tie both.
or with both. In knots,
If
like
they-
make knots, or with both.
Both. Yeah. Okay. So once again, women.
How can women tie their hair?
Women tie their hair in knots or with a bow.
Excellent, very good.
Okay.
What's the best age for a person to tie the knot? What's the best age for a person to tie the knot?
I know plus 20 is the best age for plus is the
20 and
20
above.
something is
You can say 20 and above.
20 and above. Yes,
Mhm.
20 and above is the best age for a person to tie the knot.
I think it's so only, but yeah.
Because then you are too old to have, yeah. Then even if a woman is over 30, then for example, yes, and the children will get all most illnesses that wouldn't get if the woman were under 30, for example, yes.
Okay.
And then when you play with children and you are old, it's
You want to
it's
be
strange. You have, I'm so tired, I can't play with you. Yeah? And then when
I
you
know what
go
you
to
mean.
the kindergarten, then you say, oh, you come with your grandma. No, it's my father.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you ask me questions with sting. Sting.
Sting.
Mhm.
Okay. What sting people to work harder in Africa?
Okay, what's sting people to work harder? Okay, usually people's backgrounds, the way they were brought up, most often.
What would sting? Like, boom, what sting them to work
No,
harder?
it has to be like your background, like the way you were raised. For most of the people that
Yeah.
are successful, they lived in a poor family in poor conditions, and that really stung them into the successful people they are today. So I would say, usually, poverty. I don't know.
Poverty,
Mhm.
sting,
Poverty,
sting
or
people.
sting people into it.
Like, maybe,
Like in-
not really. Poverty makes people to live this way longer in Poland.
Infamous.
Makes people live in these conditions longer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because yeah.
For us, most successful people, they were like poor and they wanted to get out, and then they made it. So infamous.
Infamous. Are there any infamous people in your country?
Yes, there are some infamous
For
people.
example.
A country.
Yeah. Very infamous.
The president.
President is very infamous. It's
Yeah.
normal.
The president.
I can hear.
The president, definitely. Yeah.
Awesome.
When you think of Rwanda, the president usually.
Mm-hmm.
Weave.
Weave. And knit and weave. And weave. Yeah. Are there any other animals in your country besides spiders that weave webs?
Let me see. I don't know really. I don't know any other like insects or animals for that reason that weave webs. Like spiders. I don't know, but they probably are because because it's a good way to catch food.
Everything.
So they probably are, but I don't know. So sweep.
Not weep, sweep.
Like to sweep.
Sweep. And there was sweep off. Sweep up, yes, sweep off and sweep. Sweep off.
No, sweep, swept.
Sweep, swept. Okay.
Or you can even use sweep under the carpet. That is.
Sweep. Okay. What things people in Africa like to sweep under the carpet? Sweep under the carpet. Not really sweep under the carpet, but sweep under the carpet.
So say things that people probably like to sweep under the carpet is the family scandals, family affairs, because Africans are very, very like protective of their families. I guess like any other like Europeans or definitely.
Okay.
They'll definitely sweep it under the carpet. You'll never know. Or pregnancies. Sometimes children give birth.
Yes.
And parents, like they probably fly them to another country to give birth, and then they come back into the country and they raise the kid as their own and be like, I gave birth nobody knows, but it's their own child. Basically, it's their granddaughter or grandson.
Yeah, but
they say it's their own. It's so very common. So very common.
Like in other African countries, and they come back. This way.
Exactly.
Okay. So it's so important, yes, in Africa, to keep it as a secret, yes. Okay. Okay.
Like family things usually, they like to keep them private.
Because people know well each other.
Yeah, exactly. That's
this
the
way,
issue.
and they live in communities.
And if you live nearby, they'll be like, oh, but we're not seeing this and this for like a long time. Where did they go? No. Yeah, you see, because people like to meddle in other people's business, so you have to, you have to keep. So last thing, tie the knot.
Tie the knot. Yes, and what's the best age in Rwanda to tie the knot?
I think now the legal age in Rwanda to
legal age, okay.
Because it has to be legal, or they're gonna arrest you. Be like,
Alright.
Usually the legal age now is 21 to tie the knot in Rwanda. It's 21.
Yes.
It's 21 now.
And on average?
It's like illegal. They make it legal. Like it's in the constitution.
Yes, it's 21.
Yeah.
But on average, at what age people tie the knot?
Oh, but like on average, besides. But like recently, people are getting married very young. I don't know why. Like there's some people I know that are 1 year older than me and they're already getting married. So like usually, I would even say 21, 22.
So they're waiting?
Like now,
to make it legal
it's becoming. Now people like this times, like in the past, let's see, in the past 3-4 years, people are getting married young. I don't know why. Like every person I know getting married now, they're either 21 or 22.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's strange. But it used to be very old people. It used to be people probably 27, 28, 30s. It used to be a bit older, but now young.
Okay, and then they get divorced or not?
Exactly.
Usually,
as I was saying, no. Usually, people that used to get married older, like they stayed together till forever, because especially in Africa, even Africa in general, and Rwanda, divorces are frowned upon. Your family, I don't know. They can cheat on you, they can... You have to stay basically. You have to keep your family together. It's like, it's a tradition. People, you divorcing because it never happened. Usually like our grandpa or grandmothers, it's families that put them together. They never met each other. The families decided, you give us your daughter, we give you our son, and they got married. And they're still together, they're going to die together basically. So divorce is very frowned upon, but since people are getting married this young and the civilization and everything, in the past 2 years there have been more divorces than in the past like 7 to 8 years, imagine. Because people are getting married young. They're civilized, educated, and they want to do their own lives, basically. So,
right.
But usually it's frowned upon. I don't know here. Here you can divorce anytime; it's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But you're also a very Christian country. Is it?
Theoretically, it's political. It's very, very political, and now it's pure. Politics.
So it's fine. Like even though you're religious, probably no. But I think
on average it's 30% go to church regularly. 30% of Poles go to church.
So compared to other European countries, you'd say divorces are very common here or not?
It's common, but like in other countries, I would say more or less. And the real Catholics, they are 7 or 8%, maybe this ultra Catholics. And then on average people get married at the age of 32. It's the average.
Oh, 32, yeah.
32.
That's very good.
Yeah.
For us, it's very young.
Okay, and
So,
new lesson, yes?
New lesson.
Lesson.
we can
Oh,
do-
but let's say.
Okay, let's do one page
yeah,
and
yeah.
then we'll. So, Unit 23, shoelace. Shoe or lace. Shoelace, undo, undid, undone. To undo something. So, shoelace, undo, undid, undone. Shoelace,
Shoelace, undo,
undid, undone.
undid, undone.
Very good. So, shoelace,
Shoelace, sznurowadło.
undo.
Undo, cofnąć, rozwiązać.
Excellent, very good. What things do we usually tie in a bow? What things do we usually tie in a bow?
We usually tie shoelaces in shoelaces in a bow.
Very good.
Okay.
At what age do children start to tie their shoelaces? At what age do children start to tie their shoelaces?
Children start to tie their shoelaces at the age of 6.
3 apparently.
3? No
I
way,
don't think
no
so.
way.
You did start at 6.
Yeah,
Or probably 5.
5, yes.
Yeah, sometimes 5 because 5 you're more
5, 6, but
Yeah,
no
yeah.
3. Like, no.
Okay. Do you lose your temper if you can't undo a knot in your shoelace? Do you lose your temper when you can't undo a knot in your shoelace?
Yes, I lose my temper when I can't undo a knot in my shoelaces.
Very good. I lose my temper. What may happen if you walk in shoes with the laces undone? What may happen if you walk in shoes with the laces undone?
If I walk in shoes with laces undone, I may step on it or on them, or I may fall down.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, because one follows the other. You step on them and
fall down.
Yeah, very good. Excellent. Muddy, slippery, sleep. So to sleep, slippery, muddy. Muddy, slippery, slip.
Slip.
So muddy.
Muddy, grząski, młotnisty.
Excellent. Slippery.
Slippery, śliski.
Very good. Sleep.
Slip, poślizgnąć się. Slip, poślizgnąć się, wyślizgnąć się. Poślizgnąć się, wyślizgnąć się. And sunąć. Aha, okej, sunąć się. Poślizgnąć się, wyślizgnąć się. Like a fish, yes? Like
And then
a fish,
slips.
and sunąć się. Slip of the mountain, yes?
Okay.
Yeah.
You see, be on a slippery slope. Begin something difficult to stop, which may quickly develop into something bad. Be on a slippery slope.
Be on a slippery slope means równia pochyła.
So to begin something difficult to stop, which may quickly develop into something bad. What are you likely to do when you're What are you likely to do when you're sliding down on a muddy slope?
If I sliding down on a muddy slope, I'm likely to slip down.
Yeah, to sleep.
To sleep.
Very good. Have you ever slept on a banana skin? Have you ever slept on a banana skin?
Is it possible, really?
Yeah.
Yes. No.
When it's on the floor, but
it's only in Ben Hill. Have you ever seen Ben Hill?
Yeah.
So,
Actually, I've never.
So I think it's not possible to sleep on a banana skin.
Okay. So you've never been.
I've never slept on a banana skin.
Excellent. Do you slip your shoes off quickly or do you undo the shoe race carefully? Do you slip your shoes
Okay.
off quickly, or do you undo the shoelace quickly?
I usually undo my shoelaces quickly.
Excellent,
Yes.
very good. When can a
and
paper?
I never slip my shoes off. Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes. No.
Sometimes
I
it
slip my
happens.
shoes off.
Yeah. There's some shoes it happens.
Slip off. Yeah. Okay.
When can a pavement be slippery? When can a pavement be slippery?
In winter, when there's snow, the pavement can be slippery.
Yeah, in winter when it's covered with snow,
snow.
yeah,
Mhm.
with ice, very good. At what age do most teenagers start to slip out of their parents' control? At what age do most teenagers start to slip out of their parents' control?
And they probably sleep out.
Most teenagers
Most teenagers start to sleep out of
their parents.
the parents' control at the age of 15.
15, yeah. Excellent. Here they say 18, but it's a lie. It's 15, 14, yeah.
Mhm.
Very good. Why is it difficult to catch a fish with one's hand? Why is it difficult to catch a fish with one's hand?
It's difficult to catch a fish with one hand because it may slip.
Because they are
They are slippery and
and can easily
slip out of your hand.
excellent, very
Yes,
good.
slip out.
Yeah, very
Yes,
good.
slip out of your
Let's
hand.
finish here.
Mhm.
Are you on the slippery slope to becoming an addict when you start taking drugs? Are you on the slippery slope to becoming an addict when you start taking drugs?
Yes, I'm on the slippery slope as an addict to becoming
an addict. An addict.
An addict, yes, when I start taking drugs
Very good.
on a slippery slope.
To becoming. Very good.
Okay.
What do parents order children to do when their shoes are muddy? What do parents order their children to do when their shoes are muddy?
Parents order the children when they see their shoes are muddy to slip out of the shoes. Leave them outside. To leave them outside.
Okay, to slip them off.
To slip them off. Yeah, to slip them off.
Or to wipe.
To wipe them
on the
ground.
On the mat.
On the mat.
Yeah, but like the mat has to be outside.
Okay.
If you have a mat outside, you can wipe it off. But it depends. Muddy shoes are really muddy. You can't just be on a map and then it removes all of it. So
once again.
you slip them off. So what do parents order children to do when their shoes are muddy?
When the parents order the children to slip their shoes off or outside or wipe them on a mat.
Excellent. When the shoes are muddy. Excellent, very good.
Okay, muddy, slip off and slip off.
Yeah, because you can slip off shoes, even clothes. Sometimes people use that. Slip off, to me, you basically do it very quickly. Usually on a dress, because a dress can really slip on you or something soft. So, do we have time to do a dictation?
Dictation?
At least 22.
Okay.
We can do one.
No, that's 1 more minute.
And then we're done.
Unit 22. Yes?
Yeah, usually it's like 19, 20. So, I'm reading. It's a disgusting habit to lick plates after a meal.
Habit to
Lick plates after a meal. We use drawing pins to stick something on a notice board.
Doing things.
Read to stick something on a notice board. It's rude to spit in the streets and speak when you're chewing food. To spit in the streets, and speak when you are chewing food. Women use cotton wool pads to wipe off makeup from their faces.
Women
Use cotton wool pads to wipe off makeup from their faces. We remove dirt and dust from carpets.
Dust and?
And dirt and dust. From carpets by hoovering them with a vacuum cleaner. I would say greed was the major disease of modern society. I would say greed was the major disease of modern society. Major disease of modern society. A contagious disease.
And?
A contagious point. A contagious disease spreads by physical contact. Point, full stop. An infectious disease can be passed from one person to another. Can be passed from one person to another through the air they breathe. Air they breathe. They breathe, full stop. Okay, people get used to living in luxury very quickly. People get used to living in luxury very quickly. Full stop. We're done.
Full stop. There will be some mistakes.
Oh my god, I can't even read it.
No.
It's,
I will check it after the lesson, okay?
it's a disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is ing, habit, to lick plates.
If you see any mistake.
After a meal, we use, you forgot use, we use drawing pins to stick something on a notice board. Notice board is one word. It's rude to speak in the streets and speak when you are drawing food. Women use cotton wool pads to wipe off. You have to have two. Let me see. Women use cotton wool. Two. It's true. To wipe off makeup from their faces. Remove dust and dirt from carpets by hoovering them by a vacuum cleaner. Well done. I would say greed was the major disease of modern society. Very good. A contagious disease. Yeah, a contagious disease spreads by physical contact. An infectious disease can be. Yeah, can be. Is this be?
By.
Can be.
Can be, okay.
Past. Past.
Past, yes.
From one.
Past, so this way.
From one person to another. Through the air they breathe. They breathe. People get used to living in luxury very quickly.
Okay. So we.
Nice.
Okay, and then it's all for today.
Yeah. Very good.
Bye. Bye.